Okay, this is not a video I ever wanted to record, but here we go. There's been a serious accusation of plagiarism in the Greyhawk community, and it needs to be addressed. Today on Greyhawk Grognarn. Okay, so this is not a happy video. As some of you may have heard recently, there's a bit of a scandal going around in the Greyhawk community. Three Orcs, who publishes a bunch of stuff that covers the Temple of Elemental Evil and surrounding area and stuff, and has published it on DM's Guild. I mean, it's a huge amount of stuff. I've posted it, like I post everything on the blog or on here, when it comes out. It's very exhaustive material, it's very detailed. And the one person over on Dragonsfoot has claimed that he has been his work that he has posted on Dragonsfoot over the years has been um, taken and put into these books, and his intellectual property has been, uh, used without his permission, and he's quite upset about it, as one would expect. Now, just a disclaimer here. I know Dave, who is the guy behind Three Orcs. Um, I've given him, he and I have talked on Facebook. He asked me questions about lore and stuff, and we bounce ideas. But nothing like, I'm not like a contributor to his books or anything. He just kind of bounces stuff off of me, and like a dozen or two people on Facebook. But I wanted to get that out there that I do. I have been interacting with him. I know him, online and so forth. Um, so this happened, and it's generated something of a furor. I know Eric Tenkar did a video on that this morning. It's I just wanted to get something out there. So I contacted both of the people involved, and I asked them, if they wanted if they wanted to give me a statement about their side of this conflict. So they have done so, and I'm going to go through them here today. But first, I wanted to go through the initial, um, what do you call it? The initial Dragonsfoot post that was posted, just to give you an idea. I'll also post a link to it below. So here's what was originally sent on Dragonsfoot. So here it is. Again, the link will be below. I'm not going to read the whole thread. I will read his initial post, though. Um, Plagiarism concerns my 2017 Nulb work on DM's Guild. Disclaimer, factual evidence seeking input. I'm pretty upset, but I wanted to get some feedback from the community before I do anything rash. I'll try to make this brief. Recently, a guy named David from Three Orcs published an expansion of the Temple of Elemental Evil on DM's Guild. The expansion was fleshing out the village of Nulb. It's number one in the Greyhawk community right now, and I think it has been for a few days. The problem is, I feel strongly that a lot of the stuff came from a series of posts I made on Dragonsfoot back in 2017. I wrote 45 to 50,000 words expanding Nulb myself. At this point, I have everything archived and documented. I'm including some screenshots to show the issues. I have a lot more screenshots. I took them all from his promotional video on YouTube, pushing the expansion module. I suspect I may have significantly more screenshots when I compare his full book to my write-up. Already, though, I can point to the same characters, the same situations, the same ideas, and I can even show a screenshot of literal word-for-word verbatim copying. I'm seriously bothered by this. These are my ideas. I don't mind if someone uses them for a personal game, but using them for profit, that really upsets me. But it's even worse. I just learned about DM's Guild and found out that everything on it agrees to a community content agreement, which grants WotC rights to reuse and distribute the content as they see fit. Right now, I feel like the actions of Three Orcs is letting WotC claim my intellectual property. Again, I'm sorry if I'm not keeping this brief enough, but it's really bothering me. It's both frustrating and infuriating. It's the kind of thing that leaves you feeling violated. Sometime back, David from Three Orcs tried to contact me and ask for permission. I didn't respond to him because I was extremely sick. I spent a lot of time in ICU for a serious medical condition. Finally, Three Orcs sent me a last message on Dragonsfoot telling me that since he didn't have my approval, he'd have to come up with something on his own. I saw those messages sometime earlier this month. At first, I thought he just wanted to use the content in his own personal game, which didn't bother me at all. I had no idea what DM's Guild was until recently. On the 15th of the month, I sent him a message Presley telling him that I didn't want him using my content, especially since he had already decided to go off in his own direction. Shortly thereafter, I noticed he started posting links to his new supplement. I felt good for him at first. I put aside his video to watch later to see what he came up with. And then I watched his video. My jaw dropped. Like I said, I have a lot more screenshots of content. I still have to go over the actual book in detail. And now I'm wondering if I need to go over other books or if some of my content might have made its way to his Patreon. I'm investigating. Haven't even been able to sleep since discovering this. I've been thinking about pursuing legal options, but I finally decided I wanted to calm down first and get some feedback from the community. I feel like I have a right to be really upset. What do you think? Note, I limited the number of screenshots because I didn't want it to be overwhelming. There are a lot more. And he does, in fact, give screenshots. There's a shot from the Three Orcs book, and then below is a screenshot from his original post from 8 years ago, and it is, yes, the same. And he has more. He has the list of the gladiators, and lo and behold, they're also here on his post from 8 years ago, and on and on and on. He also shows here that it's the number one on hottest community Greyhawk. And let me just say that this is why I was following this book so closely, is because, frankly, it was beating my books. And as a matter of fact, the night before the Nulb book, got taken down, I checked on DM's Guild to see if it had earned a badge yet. And what the badges do, that as you sell a certain number of copies, you get like a copper badge and then an electrum silver badge and electrum badge and so forth. It's basically just a way of saying how popular your book is. It has nothing to do with it's the number one bestseller. It's just the raw number of books. And I did notice that it had not gone copper yet, which means he had not even sold 51 books. So just keep that in mind for the moment, that this book sold less than 50 copies. So that just putting that out there. And like I say, there's a lot more in here. Later on, he does give a lot more screenshots in the thread, and it looks pretty damning, honestly. It's some of it is straight copying, some of it is copying characters and changing the names. There's a lot there. So I think he really makes a strong case. Hi, everybody. Please help me keep Greyhawk alive by liking this video and subscribing. It really does help. You can also become a member of the channel or support me on Patreon and get early access to my videos, exclusive content, free or at-cost copies of my Greyheim Adventures modules, and more. Thanks, and now back to the show. Okay, so that was that. Again, you can read the entire thread on your own on Dragonsfoot. You can actually look at the screenshots and blow them up and things, but yeah. Now, when I decided I had to do this video, because initially I was reluctant, because I did know Dave from Three Orcs, and we had been communicating and such. But something like this, I can't just sit on it. It's a big deal, and I gotta felt I needed to lay some stuff out here. But I also wanted to be fair, because the last thing I want to do is unfairly come down on somebody, and not give them a chance. So I asked both Dave and his accuser to give me statements if they wanted to last night, and they both have, and I'm going to read them. The first one, I'm just gonna go with Dave's first. Dave Babbitt. This is his statement that he has sent to me in connection with this affair and for this video. Statement from David Babbitt, Three Orcs, regarding the Village of Nulb module. Dear Mr. Block and the Greyhawk Grognard community, thank you for offering me a chance to share my side of the story and clarify the facts regarding the Village of Nulb module. I know the Greyhawk community values transparency and creative respect, and I wanted to speak plainly about what happened and what I've done to resolve it. Last year, I reached out to another creator to ask permission to incorporate their Nulb content into my personal non-commercial campaign. At that time, I received permission to use the material strictly as fan content, and I did so, sharing it on my website and using it with my gaming group. The material that originally inspired my Nulb content was posted on a public Greyhawk fan forum, Dragonsfoot, and was not part of a commercial release. I initially understood it as a fan contribution shared with the community, and I only used it in the context of my personal non-commercial campaign. Let's see. Later, as I began work on turning parts of my Verbabunk campaign guide 576CY into a commercial release for DM's Guild, I returned to ask permission to use Nulb material in that context. Permission was denied, and I fully respected that. At that point, I spent over 2 months rewriting the entire village of Nulb, drawing from my 40 plus years of Temple of Elemental Evil experience, original lore, and new creations. However, now recognize that my process was not thorough enough. As someone still learning the nuances of publishing fan inspired content commercially, I mistakenly left in or partially rewrote some names, locations, and descriptions that too closely resembled the original work. I assumed the changes I made were sufficient. They were not. The moment the issue was raised, I responded immediately and took the matter seriously. Within 4 days, I fully complied with every request to remove the material in question. Specifically, I removed the Village of Nulb module from the Dungeon Masters Guild, deleted all Nulb-related articles from the Verbabank Campaign Guide 576 CY site on World Anvil, down Nulb-related posts on my Patreon, removed multiple YouTube videos that discussed or featured Nulb material based on earlier drafts. In addition, I issued 2 public apologies on the Dragonsfoot forums and personally apologized to the original creator. I have made every effort to act in good faith, professionally, respectfully, and transparently. The project has been a labor of love. I've spent 7 years building the Verbabank campaign guide with contributions from other Greyhawk fans and creators, and I'm proud of what the project has accomplished, but I also recognize I made mistakes, and I've done my best to correct them fully. To the Greyhawk community, I remain fully committed to honoring the creativity of others, being accountable for my errors, and continue to create original, high-quality content that celebrates this incredible setting. Thank you again, Mr. Block, for giving me the opportunity to share this statement, and thank you to the community for your understanding. Sincerely, David Babbitt, 3 Orcs, creator of the Verbabank Campaign Guide 576 CY. And here we have the statement from Mr. Knight, who goes by Joe B on Dragonsfoot. Joseph, thank you for reaching out and for addressing this matter. As a respected voice in the DM's Guild and Greyhawk community, your commentary is important for creators and consumers alike, and I appreciate your willingness to ensure the facts are clear. Let me be clear, David Babbitt used my Nulb content originally posted on Dragonfoot in 2017 without authorization across multiple platforms, including DM's Guild, Books for Sale, his World Anvil website, Patreon, YouTube, and Facebook. This was not limited to a few posts. My content appeared extensively with links to his Patreon on every YouTube video and all of the numerous web pages, likely driving subscriber growth. I have evidence of the infringement's scope, including his own admissions, as well as screenshots of conversations showcasing he knowingly used my content. In fact, he was even warned against using my content by a member in his own Discord. I even have a screenshot of David saying he was advised to simply change the names by another individual in the community. Sometimes my content was lightly rewritten, sometimes it was used verbatim, word for word. Sometimes character names were changed, but most were left the exact same. I posted screenshots that prove this on Dragonsfoot. I want to be clear here, those screenshots are representative of what happened, but nowhere near exhaustive. I have many more screenshots. It is my belief that the copyright infringements aren't limited to my work. I have reason to believe, via looking extensively into the matter, that the violations impact others. I have sent the things I've found to DM's Guild, and I await their decision on the matter. In full transparency, I'm willing to send the same information to you, Joseph, if you'd like to see it. I must address several misrepresentations. Number one, Babbitt claimed in his June 1st, 2025 live stream that we collaborated before I objected to him using my material. This is simply not true. We never collaborated, and this claim damages my reputation. He has stated that this was an oversight and an accident. The widespread use of my content cannot reasonably be called accidental. Number three, he claimed he removed his Nulb title from DM's Guild. It is my understanding that it was actually DM's Guild who deactivated 2 of his titles following my report, both the Nulb book and the Temple Leaders book. I have sent Babbitt a cease and desist letter. Babbitt has since informed me that he has removed my content from his platforms. I have yet to verify, and it may take a long time to do so given the extent of the spread. The matter is ongoing as Babbitt and I are in further discussions. I do not consider this issue settled. I do not wish Babbitt ill, but I also don't approve of him of taking content that belongs to anyone else and repackaging it as your own. It is my intention to fully protect myself and my copyright. Again, thank you for reaching out. As a voice of our community, I hope that we can all take this matter seriously and hold one another to the highest standards possible. Thank you. J.E. Knight, also known as Joe B. on Dragonsfoot. So there you have it. 2 conflicting versions. Um, and, I don't know what to believe in terms of did they actually collaborate or not, given the way that Mr. Knight has documented everything. It seems a lot easier to believe his side of the story, especially when you go back to that Dragonsfoot page and start looking at all of the incidents over and over and over again. It is very, very difficult to see how this was done accidentally, how this is the result of sloppiness. Um, I mean, it might be the result of indifference, which is not exactly the same as sloppiness. I have no idea. I'm I'm just guessing, and I'm just throwing this, the whole thing out there. That's why I wanted to get both of them to tell me their sides of the story. I'm, it's a really, really unfortunate thing that's happened, and I hope they can settle this amicably. I hope this gets settled to, um, you know, uh, to their satisfaction, and that everybody can move on from this. But you know, it's yeah. Um, like I said at the beginning, this was a very, very difficult video to make. Um, but it's very difficult to see how Three Orcs is just innocent in this matter. That's just an opinion, Obviously, I'm not a legal guy, but um, look at the evidence for yourself and make your own judgments. And in the comments, please be respectful. Please try to stay factual if you can, and hope you're having a good day. And I'll get a regular video out on Thursday. Thanks.
Thanks for watching today's video. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Below you'll find links to my Patreon, which helps make these videos possible. You'll also find the web store where you can buy my books, and my blog where you'll find all sorts of free downloads and other articles. Thanks, and have a great day.